We just talked about the Russian disinformation and fakes and propaganda that Kremlin is spreading all over the world about Ukraine and the West, and you tell me about it. You know, you are fighting the Russian psyops, the psychological operations. In particular, one of the last ones was about the alleged destruction of Euroband, for example. Please talk us through the whole thing in more detail. How do you do it?
Okay. So we actually didn't intend to, fully disarm Russian cybersecurity folks, because we knew that they will do nothing and that it's IPO. That's it. It's just informational operation. We were 100% sure that everything is going to be fine, because no hacker will ever say upfront that they're going to, hack something.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. And obviously no one would say that they hacked, because if they hacked the system, they have everything, and it's just smart to have this backdoor and steal money all the time, right? Otherwise, it's like, it's very stupid. So the only thing, the difference that I have a blog, and people who interested in tech and some of high-level discussions about IPO, they of course want to listen the story from people who understand what's going on. And of course, if you just show off what Russians are gonna do and show the pathos they present on TV, that will work well to disarm them right away. Because once you show people who are trying to go on a pathos and say that they can or kill someone, or threat someone, or steal something, that's very easy for Ukrainians to understand. Oh, okay, they're again talking about something but never do. So to disarm it, it's very easy. You just show it with the right person on the screen, and they will understand. Okay, if Boris is talking about it, most probably they are not hackers. It's just fun.
So this is how you disarm it. This is the tool of disarmament. You make it public. Is that the way?
Yeah, you make it public with other person, right. To be honest, who has at least some reputation, and it works very well. Usually.
So it's a reputational clash, is it?
Yeah. Whoever will be seeing
sure.
anonymous Sudan with people who really understand how system works and can say something, it's kind of almost impossible.
All right. Well, teams of researchers from 14 countries monitored the information spice of Eastern Europe countries from June to October 2022. In total, over 5 months of monitoring, analysts recorded 6,727 disinformation messages. The most disinformation was in social networks, so of course, 56.2 of the total number of messages, the least in the content of radio programs, news, as well as in the media content that reflects one's own opinion, comments by expert columnists, etc., etc. The largest number of messages spreading narratives and messages of Russian propaganda that was recorded in Ukraine, almost 20% of the total number. The fewest such messages were found in Romania. The majority of disinformation related to the events of the Russian-Ukrainian war, 55%. Most of the disinformation related to the economic consequences of sanctions, 17.7%. Military aid to Ukraine, 9.3%. Somewhat less misinformation was spread about Ukrainian refugees, 4.9%, almost 5%. The smallest number of disinformation messages has been produced in regards with Russian-speaking minorities and Russian culture issue, about 4% of the total number. So, Boris, educate me. How can I, as an average person, tell a fake from not a fake if I'm not deeply in the matter, or maybe not in the matter at all? Are there any ways and options to fight it?
I probably have some quite bad news in these terms, because whatever, it's not only about the government propaganda, right? It's even people who just influencers. If you see people often, you like them more. If you see these problems of body, perfect body on Instagram. If you see often the perfect body, everyone will be obsessed and need to do the same. So we kind of as humans have bugs, and we just need to, I would say, just accept it and understand that everyone is going to use it, not just Russians, everyone.
Yeah, sure.
The more often you see news, the more you will be believing them. Not because you're smart, not because you like stupid, educated, irrelevant to all of it. It doesn't matter. You will.
Really?
It's just eventually you're gonna.
So I cannot be educated. Say, if I have two diplomas and I consider myself a very clever and educated man, would I get on the hook anyway? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not what I see in world. I have a lot of smart people around me.
Sure.
Even very smart, even billionaires in some terms. I see that they are easy to affect by this until someone proves them. So for us, our brain works in a way that where we it's easier to assume some information and go forward until it's problematic for us, right? We didn't fight the Russian propaganda before until it's a war, right? Not that much people been involved. Right now, it's like, oh my God, we need to understand each of these components and fight it. And what I would say, it's kind of like fire against fire. If you wanna even win some product competition, your share voice in market should be bigger. That's first of all. Like you, of course, need to go disapprove and fight fakes and ensure your reputation is okay, ensure like no communities fight with each other because of some Russian operation. But eventually you also need a very good propaganda machine. You need a very good IPO specialists who are making these operations.
Can I ask a question in the middle? So are you telling me that there is a part of being good and bad propaganda? Propaganda is the case, right? So to fight propaganda, you have to have available bigger propaganda in quantitative measures. I mean, you have to just your voice be bigger than this voice, and that's it. Is that the tool to fight it?
That's key, but it's not it. Of course, no, because like you eventually need to be right? You like sooner or later, some people find like if you're on the wrong side, it's much easier to disapprove you, to lessen your reputation, to find more people who will not believe you. Just because it's easier to find right words if your enemy or competitor is using it. But even if it's good to good, people anyway can find good words to disapprove someone's reputation. Even if Ukraine is right and everything is doing it the best it possibly can in the circumstances we have, someone can find good words to say, oh my God, they need more weapons, they kind of bad because they are looking for conflict. It's very easy with our language and our base language, right, to find words of disapproving someone's reputation. It's very easy. So it's eternal fight to win it easy way just by educating people. It's just a little part of the war, to be honest.
Okay. Let us talk
I can say one example if you don't mind.
Please, I don't mind. Please do.
We can make almost everyone as a soldier in this case. Like they should be ones who make at least once IPO themselves, disinformation operations. In this case, they understand the mechanism. Once people understand the mechanism, they can understand when they've been influenced by someone else.
Right. Well, here we go.
Otherwise,
we have to make everyone a soldier, to like educated critical thinking, to understand what is going on, and then just filter it through. Maybe this is the way.
Yeah, it's kind of
in schools.
Yeah,
for example.